Hola contactados, hoy les traemos una entrevista que definitivamente no se ve todos los días. Hablamos con McKinnell, el nieto directo de Ed y Lorraine Warren. Sí, los mismos investigadores de los casos de Annabelle, La Monja, Amityville y muchos más. Chris no solo escuchó estas historias, sino que vivió con la muñeca Annabelle. Y en esta primera parte, nos cuenta cómo fue crecer rodeado de objetos malditos, demonios y fenómenos paranormales reales. La entrevista la hizo nuestro corresponsal Eric Carrillo, desde Estados Unidos. Prepárate, porque lo que vas a escuchar es 100% real.
Contactados, chicos de Mundo Paranormal Perú y Contacto TV. Hoy tenemos a Chris McKinnell. Él es el nieto de Ed y Lorraine Warren. Hi, Chris, and thank you for this interview today.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. This is for Paranormal World Peru and Contacto TV. It's a pleasure for me to have you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So let's start from the beginning. Chris, do you believe on the paranormal? Do you believe on witchcraft, on the occult?
I started in this field in 1980. I am the director of the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. If I don't believe in the paranormal, I've been wasting my time.
How do you remember your grandparents, the Warrens? Were they mysterious? They were reserved? They were just happy people like anybody else? How do you remember?
They were happy people not like everyone else. My grandmother, honestly, if you've ever watched any of her videos, she comes across as a very sweet and serious person. And the truth is, she was very sweet and not really as serious as she had to be on cases or in interviews. In reality, she would spend 2 weeks getting ready for Christmas, baking and getting all the food ready. And she would spend months buying massive amounts of Christmas gifts for us. Every holiday was a major affair. My grandfather was a real man's man, very macho.
Considering the time, back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his favorite hero was John Wayne, but he was a good man, and they both were very generous. Always volunteered their time to help anybody in need. Never took money for the work we do. Neither do I. We don't charge people to help them.
And how about your parents? Were your parents also involved in this paranormal journey?
Oh, no, not at all. My mother has never liked the paranormal and won't have anything to do with it. My father, same thing. My father doesn't even believe in it. But my stepfather has assisted my grandparents for a number of years. He used to do the lectures with them, help them set them up and things of that nature. And today he is an investigator as well. And
when and how did you start the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research?
It was 6 or 7 years ago. And it was right after the movies started coming out, the Conjuring and Annabelle movies. And we were getting requests for help from all over the world. And I went to my grandmother and I said, Gram, the New England Society for Psychic Research has been around since 1952, but the rest of the world doesn't know what that is. I really want to make sure that people know we're here and that we keep your name alive and your legacy alive. And I would like to change it, or at least to expand our mission around the world and start a network of professionals and call it the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. And she loved the idea. So with her blessing and her help, we got it started.
Wow. Oh, that's great. What do you think, or what are your thoughts on the Ouija board? Have you ever heard of the Ouija board, or what do you think about it?
Oh, yeah. I know the Ouija board very well. And just like my grandparents, thing is, people always think it's the Ouija board that's a problem. It isn't.
Right. Exactly.
It is the act of spirit communication. It doesn't matter if you use a seance, a Ouija board, a spirit box, whatever you're using. If your intention is to open a door so that something can come through and you can communicate with it, then you have no control over what comes through that door. It doesn't matter if you're saying, Uncle Hector, come to me. I want to see you. I want to talk to you, Uncle Hector. No.
Right. Sometimes people think it's kind of like a cell phone, right? I'm just going to call this person.
You're just opening the front door and ringing the dinner bell. Anything can answer that call.
Right. Yeah. And then you're absolutely right. It could be somebody saying that it's your uncle, and it's really not.
Exactly. In reality, and this is something my grandmother used to talk about, when you put out positive energy, you get something positive back. When you put out negative energy, you get something negative back. If you happen to be one of those people who's in a bad place, you're a teenager, your emotions are running high, you're mentally ill, you're using drugs, any number of things that can make you a more negative person, then you're going to attract something negative. And it doesn't matter what rituals you use to try to protect yourself. The moment you try spirit communication, you've thrown away that protection. That's your own free will. And if you don't protect if you choose to communicate with something, then you're saying, yes, I want to do this. That's my choice. So if I get hurt, that's on me.
And also that added to the fear that this person can get at that time, kind of like boost everything up, right?
Absolutely, and that's a very important point. Thank you. The truth is, these things, these inhuman spirits, not human, inhuman spirits are psychic parasites. They feed off of our negative emotions. That's what helps them to manifest. Fear is the real enemy.
Right.
You need to conquer that because faith is your shield. Fear is a way of saying I no longer have faith. Right. I don't have enough faith to overcome my fear.
I concur. So let's talk about a little bit of, the famous Annabelle doll. Have you ever detected any paranormal activity with the Annabelle doll while in the museum? Is it true that changes positions? Do you think it's
No, absolutely not true. There are a lot of crazy rumors about Annabelle that go around. Let me explain. I lived with Annabelle for a year and a half. With my grandmother.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was taking care of my grandmother the last year of her life, and Annabelle has been locked down and has not hurt anybody since 1975. If anybody wants to know our experiences with Annabelle, I just did a 12-minute video on our YouTube channel, The Warren Files, and it does have Spanish subtitles, so you can check that out as well. But the movies, they're pure Hollywood fantasy. The Annabelle movies. There's a real Annabelle, but Annabelle, as you can see in the photo I'm sending you, is a Raggedy Ann doll. It's not this porcelain monstrosity.
The Hollywood movie shows on it like a little creepy doll and stuff like that.
Exactly. Well,
as you say, it's
probably has something to do with the toy manufacturer not wanting to use their product as an evil entity.
You have lived with the actual Annabelle doll on the house, and what have you detected? Were you close to her?
I've grown up with Annabelle since 1970. She's always been a part of my life, since I was a child. But it hasn't done anything to me. It's hurt others. It's hurt my grandparents. It attacked a priest friend of mine who challenged it. He heard about the doll, and my grandfather brought him downstairs to look at it. And this was before it was in the case.
I see.
It was sitting in a chair. And Father Bill Charbonneau walked over to it, picked it up, threw it across the room, and said, "God is stronger than the devil." And my grandfather shook his head and he said, "Yes, Father, God is stronger than the devil, but no man is." On his way home that night, in his brand new convertible car, a bright white light came barreling at him down the road. And just before he veered off the road and into a ditch, he swore he saw Annabelle in that light. The car was completely wrecked and he broke his leg.
Wow.
And there were stories. My grandfather said that there was a young man who would come into the museum, and this was after the doll was in its case, and he went over to the case and he tapped on the window and he said, "You're just a stupid doll. You couldn't hurt anybody. If you're gonna do something, do it now. Scratch me, make a mark, do something." My grandfather immediately threw him out of the museum. On his way home with his girlfriend, according to his girlfriend, Annabelle threw them into a tree, and the boy was immediately killed, and the girl was in the hospital for a year.
And that's the thing when you challenge something that you don't know, right?
Absolutely.
You provoke something that you don't know just to feel maybe brave or feel important.
Yeah. When ego gets in, your humility and your faith are no longer your protection. You've given up on God, and it's all about you.
And so besides Annabelle, that we all know and people know was a hit because of the movie, what other object inside the museum you believe that's equal or maybe more dangerous than Annabelle, or that is more intriguing to you?
There are so many interesting objects in there, but my grandmother would tell you Annabelle is absolutely the worst thing in that museum. Personally, I'm not so sure. Annabelle has done a lot of damage. It's hurt a lot of people. It's even killed. But there are a lot of things in there that are pretty awful. There's this little diorama. It's a board with grave dirt and plants and a child's grave marker that says Warren on it. It was a curse that was left for my grandfather right outside the museum. Somebody tried to curse him.
And I remember Lorraine, many times I heard that she said, do not touch anything on the museum. And if
That's right.
you do, let me know. What if something like that ever happened? Have you heard of anything that happened, like, I know, by mistake or maybe without knowledge, somebody touched it? What was done after that to kind of help this person?
What happens when you touch a cursed object like these? Your aura mixes with its energy, and it's able to make a connection sometimes. There was a big burly cop who had come to visit my grandfather, and he had heard about Annabelle, and they were in the museum, and he said to my grandfather, Ed, of all the things in this museum, the one that affects me the most, the one that I'm most fascinated by, is that doll, Annabelle. Just then, my grandfather had to take a phone call upstairs, and he told the man, do not touch anything. I'll be back as soon as I can. He wasn't at the phone for more than 10 minutes when this cop came running up the stairs, white as a sheet and terrified, breathing heavily. And he said to my grandfather, I can't tell you what happened. I can't, but I'll tell Lorraine. But she has to promise never to tell anyone. My grandfather went down to the basement, and it was immediately obvious what had happened. He had picked up Annabelle, and Annabelle had attacked him. The entire museum was torn apart. It looked like a whirlwind had gone through there, and everything was thrown all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah, it can be quite deadly.
And when is that when they put Annabelle inside the case? And I know there's a card right outside, like a demon card.
Yeah, the devil card from the Ouija board. From the tarot cards.
Oh, when did that happen? After what incident?
No, my grandfather just put that on there to mark it as being something dark and evil. Yeah, as well as he painted that sign that's on the bottom of the case that says positively do not open.
And have you ever seen something move actually in the museum, or have weird noises that you personally heard?
Not in the museum, no. Other cases, on investigations, sure. I've been picked up, almost thrown down the stairs. I was in a bed and flew across the room, and then the bed hit the ground and broke into pieces. I've been burned, cut, punched, stabbed. I've been in a car that the brakes went out. I've had the gas on my stove turn on in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times without the flame going on, so filled up the house with gas fumes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is not a hobby. This isn't something that anyone should go into lightly.
Y hasta aquí la primera parte, contactados. ¿Te imaginas vivir bajo el mismo techo que la muñeca Annabelle? Déjanos un comentario y cuéntanos qué opinas sobre todo lo que dijo Chris. Y atentos, porque la segunda parte de esta entrevista revela aún más secretos de los Warren, casos de exorcismo y objetos malditos del museo. Si aún no formas parte de la legión, este es el momento. Suscríbete al canal, activa la campana y sé un contactado más. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales, ahí soltamos pistas, fotos, videos y datos que no verás en ningún otro lado. Y no te olvides, esto es Contacto TV.